Have you ever found yourself sitting in your favorite chair, enjoying the quiet of your home, but suddenly feeling a little uneasy about being alone? Or perhaps, you've realized there are things you've gotten used to doing that could actually be risky? Well, you're not alone. Many of us in our golden years enjoy the comfort of living independently, but there are some things we should be mindful of to make sure that independence remains safe and fulfilling. In this video, I'm going to share 7 things to avoid when living alone as an older person, practical tips I've learned over the years, and some mistakes I've made along the way. Trust me, a little foresight can go a long way in maintaining both your health and peace of mind. So stick around until the end because these tips can really improve your life and help you feel more secure in your daily routines. Before we begin, if this sounds like the kind of content you're interested in, make sure to hit that subscribe button for golden aging and turn on notifications so you never miss our tips on living fully at every age. Your support truly helps us reach more people looking to make their golden years healthier and happier. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Let's get started. Point 1. Don't isolate yourself. As we age, one of the most common challenges we face is the tendency to isolate ourselves. It often starts innocently enough. Maybe you're just enjoying a little peace and quiet at home. Or perhaps, the responsibilities that once kept you busy have lessened. But before you know it, isolation can slowly creep into your life and make you feel disconnected from the world around you. I've certainly found myself in this situation, especially after I retired and my social circle shrank a bit. I thought, I've done my time. I've raised my kids, worked my whole life. Now I can just enjoy the quiet. But as I spent more time alone, I started to feel a bit disconnected. Sure, it was nice to have the house to myself, but I started to miss the conversations, the laughter, and even the daily interactions that once kept me feeling grounded. At first, I didn't realize the effect it was having on me. But over time, I started feeling more withdrawn, more lonely, and even a bit more anxious. I wasn't as engaged in the world, and I was slowly losing that connection with others that made life so rich. Isolation isn't just about feeling lonely. It has real consequences for our physical and mental well-being. Research shows that people who experience social isolation are at higher risk for a range of health issues, including depression, anxiety, heart disease, and even early mortality. When we're isolated, we miss out on the mental and emotional stimulation that we get from interacting with others. Those little conversations, shared experiences, and community connections all play a huge role in keeping us healthy. I began to realize that my lack of social interaction was affecting my mood, energy, and even my physical health. I wasn't taking as many walks or engaging in physical activities as I had when I had friends to do things with. I noticed a lack of motivation to do much beyond the basics of daily life. That was my wake-up call. Isolation wasn't just keeping me inside, it was keeping me from living my fullest, healthiest life. One of the first things I did to address this was make a conscious effort to reconnect with people. At first, it wasn't easy. I started by reaching out to a few old friends for a cup of coffee or just a chat. It wasn't anything fancy, just simple, human connection. And let me tell you, it made a huge difference. As soon as I started engaging in these conversations, I noticed my mood improve. I felt more energized and motivated, and the day-to-day didn't feel as mundane. Socializing, even in small ways, has been shown to reduce feelings of loneliness, improve mood, and boost cognitive function. Having regular interactions with others can significantly decrease the risk of depression and even cognitive decline. Just hearing someone else's voice or sharing a laugh with a friend can release endorphins, the body's natural feel-good hormones, which help lift our spirits and reduce stress. I began to realize how important it was to make an effort, even when I didn't feel like it. It didn't have to be a big event or an all-day affair. Sometimes just checking in with a neighbor, asking someone to lunch, or simply enjoying a short walk with a friend could make all the difference in how I felt the rest of the day. I understand that when we get older, our social networks can shrink. Family might be far away, and old friends may not be around as often. but I've discovered that it's never too late to expand your circle and make new connections. Many communities have groups specifically for older adults, offering a wide range of activities, from book clubs and exercise classes to volunteer opportunities and senior centers. For example, I joined a local gardening group, something I'd never done before, and not only did I learn a lot about plants and growing food, but I also met some wonderful people. We would share gardening tips, chat about life, and even help each other with home projects. It gave me a chance to get out of the house, learn something new, and develop relationships with people who shared similar interests. If gardening's not your thing, there are countless other opportunities. Whether it's joining a fitness class, attending church services, or even participating in local community events. I've found that being part of a group, even for just a small amount of time each week, helps keep me connected and engaged with the world around me. Additionally, don't forget about online connections. If you're unable to leave the house often, consider joining online communities or participating in virtual meetups. There are tons of online groups where people of all ages can connect, chat, and share common interests. It's a wonderful way to stay connected, especially when mobility becomes an issue. One of the most rewarding ways to avoid isolation is through volunteering. Giving back to the community not only helps others but also provides a sense of purpose and connection. I began volunteering a few years ago at a local food pantry, and it's been one of the best decisions I've made. Not only do I get to help others who are in need, but I also interact with a diverse group of people, many of whom are also volunteers. Volunteering provides an incredible opportunity for social interaction and engagement. It gives you something to look forward to and helps build a sense of community and connection. There's something deeply fulfilling about helping others, and it can bring people from all walks of life together. I've found that even in my 70s, I can make a meaningful contribution while staying active and involved. It's also crucial to stay connected with family, even if they live far away. Regular phone calls, video chats, or even letter writing can help you maintain a connection with loved ones. I tried to keep in touch with my children and grandchildren, and though they may not live nearby, we have regular family catch-ups, whether it's through the phone or occasionally meeting for a family gathering. Having that family connection can make a world of difference. It not only provides emotional support but helps you stay mentally active. When I talk with my grandchildren about their lives and hear what they're up to, it gives me a sense of being connected to the younger generation and helps me feel less isolated. Even if family is far away, there are ways to keep that bond strong. It doesn't take much to start combating isolation. It could be something as simple as saying hello to a neighbor, attending a local event, or making a phone call to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Over time, I've realized that the key to avoiding isolation is taking small steps every day to stay connected with the world around me. I've started making it a habit to smile and wave at people when I'm out for a walk, even if I don't know them. These small gestures help me feel connected to the community, and you'd be surprised how many smiles and greetings you get back. The more I engage with people, whether it's a short conversation or simply acknowledging them, the less I feel like I'm alone in the world. Living alone can be an incredibly fulfilling experience, but it's essential to make sure that isolation doesn't creep in. The connections we build with others, whether through family, friends, volunteering, or community activities, are a vital part of maintaining our mental health and well-being as we age. Stay engaged with those around you, seek new ways to connect, and make an effort to keep your social circles vibrant and active. By avoiding isolation and focusing on meaningful relationships, you'll not only enrich your own life but also inspire those around you. Socializing isn't just about having fun, it's about keeping your mind sharp, your spirits high, and your sense of connection strong. So, take a step today and reach out, whether it's a phone call, a visit, or simply a friendly hello. Your well-being depends on it, and you deserve to feel connected, engaged, and supported in your golden years. Point 2. Don't skip regular health checkups. As we get older, it's easy to fall into the mindset that we don't need to see a doctor unless we're really feeling unwell. After all, we've been around long enough to know our bodies, right? But here's the thing, aging can change our bodies in subtle ways, and regular health checkups are an essential part of maintaining good health as we grow older. I know this firsthand, having experienced the consequences of skipping a checkup or two in my younger years, and I've learned that regular visits are about much more than just preventing illness. They're about staying proactive in our health and enhancing our quality of life. When I turned 70, I noticed a small shift in my energy levels. It wasn't a drastic change, but I wasn't bouncing around as much as I used to. At first, I thought it was just a sign of aging. But after a routine checkup, my doctor pointed out that a decline in energy can sometimes be a symptom of underlying conditions like thyroid imbalances or low iron levels. If I hadn't made that appointment, I might have continued attributing it to getting older, instead of addressing it head-on. That experience taught me something important. Health checkups are your best defense against potential issues, and they can catch things early, long before they turn into bigger problems. One of the most significant benefits of regular health checkups is that they help with preventive care. Many age-related health issues, like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and even heart disease, can develop silently without any obvious symptoms. When we're younger, we're more attuned to feeling ill and seeking care. But as we age, we can sometimes become less sensitive to subtle health changes. For example, I was always active and generally felt healthy, so I didn't see the point in regular screenings like a blood test. However, a checkup revealed that my cholesterol levels were slightly elevated, and my blood pressure was a bit high, both things I didn't notice. If left unchecked, these factors could have led to serious cardiovascular issues down the road. Preventive care allows your doctor to detect these issues early on, so you can take action before things worsen. By catching problems early, you can often manage or even reverse them through lifestyle changes, medication, or other treatments. Early detection means better outcomes, less stress, and potentially fewer complications down the road. There's an old saying that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and when it comes to health, it couldn't be truer. Regular checkups help your doctor catch problems when they're still small and manageable. Conditions like cancer, diabetes, and osteoporosis can often be asymptomatic for a long time, but routine screenings, such as mammograms, colonoscopies, or bone density tests, can identify issues before they develop into more serious or even life-threatening situations. For example, I once had a routine colonoscopy that uncovered a small polyp in my colon, which, if left unchecked, could have eventually turned into cancer. My doctor recommended removing it right away, and I'm grateful I had that screening. Had I waited or avoided the procedure, the outcome could have been far worse. Preventive health screenings are designed to help identify these potential problems early so you can take action before they escalate. These appointments may feel inconvenient, but in the long run, they can save your life. As we get older, many of us develop chronic health conditions, whether it's arthritis, diabetes, hypertension, or something else. While these conditions may not be immediately life-threatening, they require regular monitoring and management to ensure they don't worsen. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes a few years ago, and at first, I was overwhelmed. But what I learned through regular checkups is that it's manageable if you catch it early and stay on top of your treatment. My doctor helps me monitor my blood sugar, suggests changes to my diet, and tracks my cholesterol and blood pressure regularly. I've found that with consistent checkups and good communication with my doctor, I can manage my diabetes effectively. Regular checkups allow your healthcare provider to monitor these chronic conditions and make any necessary adjustments to your treatment plan. They might recommend a change in medication, suggest a different exercise routine, or even introduce new lifestyle strategies to help you live a better, healthier life. It's easy to overlook mental health when we're focused on our physical well-being, but mental health is just as important, especially as we age. Many older adults experience depression, anxiety, and even cognitive decline, but these issues are often overlooked because they don't come with the same visible symptoms as physical conditions. Regular health checkups provide the opportunity to discuss any changes in your mood, memory, or thinking patterns. I can tell you from personal experience that during my routine appointments, I've discussed feeling a little down or forgetful. Sometimes, it's just a natural part of aging, But other times, it could indicate something more significant, like early-stage dementia or depression. My doctor helped me explore resources for mental health support, including therapy, medications, and strategies to improve my cognitive function. Don't be afraid to bring up your mental health during checkups. It's an essential part of overall well-being, and getting the right support can improve your quality of life. Regular checkups provide a safe space to address concerns about your emotional and cognitive health before they become serious issues. As we age, we become more susceptible to illnesses that might not have been a big deal earlier in life. Flu, pneumonia, and shingles are just a few examples of diseases that can be more dangerous for older adults. Vaccines are one of the best ways to protect yourself, and routine checkups are an opportunity to ensure you're up to date on the necessary vaccinations. When I turned 70, my doctor recommended I get a shingles vaccine. At first, I wasn't sure. It seemed like something I didn't need. But I'm glad I took the advice. Shingles can be incredibly painful, especially for older adults, and the vaccine offers protection against the disease. Now, every year, I make sure to ask about any new vaccines I might need. It's just one more way to protect yourself and keep your immune system strong. As we age, we often end up taking medications for various conditions, and it's essential to make sure those medications are still working well for us. Sometimes, medications need to be adjusted due to changes in our bodies. What worked for you at 50 might not be as effective at 70. That's why regular checkups are so important. They allow your doctor to monitor how well your medications are working and make adjustments if necessary. For example, I was on a blood pressure medication for years, but during one of my routine checkups, my doctor noticed it might be time to lower my dosage. He also advised me to try a different medication that had fewer side effects. Regular visits keep my treatment plan in check and ensure I'm receiving the best care possible. It's easy to think that if you feel fine, there's no need to see the doctor. But as we age, regular health checkups are one of the best tools we have to stay healthy, active, and independent. They help catch problems early, monitor chronic conditions, and ensure that we're doing everything we can to live our best lives. So, don't skip that appointment. Make your health a priority, even if you feel fine. By keeping up with checkups, you're not just taking care of your body, you're taking care of your future. Trust me, a little proactive care now can save you from much bigger issues later on. Point 3. Don't overexert yourself. As we age, it's easy to think we still have the energy and stamina we had in our younger years, but the truth is, overexertion can take a serious toll on our bodies. I've certainly had my share of moments when I pushed myself too hard, thinking I could handle more than I was really capable of. It's something many of us do, especially when we feel the urge to stay active and continue doing all the things we used to enjoy. But I've learned the hard way that balance is key when it comes to staying fit and healthy as we grow older. Several years ago, I made the mistake of trying to take on a home improvement project by myself. I thought, why not? I've done this kind of thing 100 times before. I spent the entire day painting the house, hauling heavy equipment around, and climbing ladders. The next day, I woke up to find myself sore, exhausted, and unable to move easily. A few days later, I had to visit the doctor because of the strain I'd put on my back. It was a wake-up call. I realized that while I might feel capable, my body was no longer able to handle the strain the same way it did when I was younger. Overexertion is more than just a temporary inconvenience. It can lead to long-term injuries, muscle strain, joint pain, and even more serious health issues. As we age, our bodies become more vulnerable to stress and strain, which is why it's crucial to be mindful of how we push ourselves. It's not about giving up or avoiding activity. In fact, staying active is incredibly important for maintaining strength, flexibility, and overall health. But the key is to listen to your body and avoid pushing it beyond its limits. When I was younger, I could work long hours in the garden, mow the lawn for hours, or spend an entire day cleaning the house without much thought. But as I got older, I started noticing that these activities would leave me feeling completely wiped out, or worse, with a sore back or stiff joints. The first step in avoiding overexertion is recognizing that your body's limits change as you age. When we're young, we have the energy to push through fatigue, but that's not the case as we get older. I've learned that knowing your limits is a form of wisdom, recognizing that it's okay to slow down, take breaks, and ask for help when needed. If you're used to doing tasks like carrying heavy groceries or gardening for hours, it's important to recognize when those activities are becoming too strenuous. Listen to the signals your body is sending you. Are you feeling out of breath? Is your back aching? Are you feeling dizzy or lightheaded? These are signs that you might be pushing yourself too far. One of the best pieces of advice I received from my doctor was to pace myself throughout the day. Instead of trying to accomplish everything in one go, I now break tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks. For example, instead of mowing the lawn all at once, I'll do it in parts, taking breaks between sections to rest and hydrate. Pacing yourself doesn't mean being lazy or avoiding work. It means being smart about how much effort you exert over time. Taking short breaks every 15 to 20 minutes can significantly reduce the risk of overexertion. I now make a conscious effort to rest, stretch, and give my body the time it needs to recover before diving back into a task. Whether it's standing up and walking around, sitting down for a few minutes, or stretching, these small acts of rest can help reduce muscle strain and prevent exhaustion. Staying active is crucial for maintaining strength, flexibility, and mobility as we age. But high-impact exercises like running, lifting heavy weights, or intense cardio can be hard on the joints and muscles. Instead, I've found that low-impact exercises are the best way to stay fit without risking overexertion. Walking is a great low-impact activity. I make sure to take a daily walk around the neighborhood, but I keep a comfortable pace, adjusting my route depending on how I'm feeling. I've also incorporated swimming into my routine. The water supports my body, so I don't put undue stress on my joints, but I still get a full-body workout that keeps my muscles and heart healthy. Yoga and Tai Chi are also excellent choices for older adults. Both provide a gentle way to improve flexibility, balance, and strength. I started taking a weekly yoga class, and I can't tell you how much it's helped me feel more energized and less stiff. I focus on stretches and postures that are kind to my joints, and I always listen to my body to avoid overextending or pushing too hard. The beauty of these low-impact exercises is that they allow you to stay active without overexerting yourself. They're not about intense competition or pushing your body to the limit. They're about moving in a way that feels good and supports your overall health. Another thing I've learned about avoiding overexertion is the role hydration and nutrition play in maintaining energy levels. Staying hydrated is critical for physical performance, and dehydration can lead to fatigue, dizziness, and even confusion. I always make sure to drink water throughout the day, especially before, during, and after any physical activity. Good nutrition is equally important. Eating a balanced diet that includes plenty of whole grains, lean proteins, fruits, and vegetables provides the energy and nutrients your body needs to function at its best. I've found that when I eat healthy, I'm able to exercise more effectively, feel less tired, and recover faster after physical activities. Skipping meals or not eating the right foods can lead to energy crashes, making overexertion even more likely. As much as staying active is important, rest and recovery are just as crucial to prevent overexertion. Our muscles and joints need time to repair themselves after any physical activity. When I was younger, I didn't always prioritize rest, thinking that if I pushed through, I would be stronger for it. But now I know better. After any physical activity, I make sure to take time to rest. Stretching afterward is also an essential part of my routine. Gentle stretching helps keep my muscles from getting tight and prevents injuries. I also make sure to get a good night's sleep, which allows my body to recover fully. If I'm feeling particularly tired, I'll take an afternoon nap to recharge. Finally, one of the most important aspects of not overexerting yourself is recognizing when you need help. When you're living alone, it's easy to think you should do everything on your own, but I've learned that it's okay to ask for help. If there's something heavy to carry or a task that requires more physical exertion than I can handle, I don't hesitate to call a neighbor, hire a handyman, or ask a family member for assistance. Asking for help doesn't mean you're weak or incapable. It means you're being wise and taking care of your health. It also means you can continue living independently and safely, without putting yourself at risk. If this sounds familiar or helpful, go ahead and leave a comment with the number 2 to let me know you're still watching and getting some good tips. In conclusion, overexertion is one of the most common pitfalls when living alone as we age, but by being mindful of your body's limits, pacing yourself, and incorporating low-impact exercises, you can stay active and healthy without putting undue strain on your body. Hydration, good nutrition, rest, and knowing when to ask for help are also essential components of a sustainable and healthy lifestyle. Staying fit after 70 is about balance. It's not about pushing yourself too hard, but about staying consistent, staying gentle with yourself, and ensuring that your body and mind remain in good shape for years to come. Point 4. Don't ignore home safety. As we age, our bodies change in ways that can affect our balance, strength, and agility. This makes it more important than ever to ensure our homes are safe and accessible. For me, after years of living without really thinking about it, I realized that my home could pose more risks than I had ever imagined. I've heard many stories from friends and family who, just like me, had lived in their homes for decades and never really paid attention to how their surroundings might impact their safety. But with a few simple adjustments, you can dramatically reduce your risk of falls, injuries, and other accidents that are all too common as we get older. Let's start with the big one: falls. As we age, we become more susceptible to losing our balance. Whether it's because of slower reflexes, weaker muscles, or simply not noticing a small obstacle, falls are one of the leading causes of injury in older adults. I've had a couple of close calls myself, nothing serious, but they were enough to make me think twice about the potential dangers around my house. A few years ago, I tripped on a rug that wasn't properly secured on the floor. It was an embarrassing moment, and luckily, I didn't get hurt, but that incident made me realize how easy it could have been to fall. After that, I took a long look at my living space and started addressing the things that posed a risk. Slippery floors, poor lighting, and cluttered hallways are just a few of the things that can contribute to accidents in the home. Since then, I've taken several steps to make my home safer, and I want to share those with you so that you can avoid these common hazards. One of the easiest ways to reduce the risk of falling is to remove tripping hazards. Look around your home and ask yourself if there are things that could cause a trip, like loose rugs, uneven flooring, or clutter. I realized that the rug I tripped on was one of those things I had just gotten used to, but it wasn't a good fit for the space. Since then, I've replaced it with non-slip mats and secured other rugs with double-sided tape to keep them in place. Another area I noticed was my hallway. There were a few bookshelves and pieces of furniture that I kept for decoration, but they were positioned in such a way that they could easily be knocked over or cause me to trip. I rearranged the furniture, removed items that didn't serve a purpose, and made sure to clear the walking paths. It's such a simple change, but it makes a huge difference in how safe and accessible the space feels. Another important factor in preventing accidents is ensuring that your home is well lit. Poor lighting can make it difficult to see obstacles, stairs, or even small changes in floor levels. I'm not ashamed to admit that I've stumbled a few times while moving around the house in the dark. It's easy to think you don't need extra lighting, but as our vision changes with age, it becomes even more important to make sure there's enough light for you to see clearly at all times. In my case, I started adding more motion sensor lights in hallways, bathrooms, and even along the stairs. These lights turn on automatically when I walk by, so I don't have to fumble for a light switch in the dark. I also installed brighter light bulbs in areas where I tend to move around the most, such as the kitchen and entryway. You'd be surprised how much better it feels to have a home that is properly illuminated, especially during the evening hours. If you haven't already, take a walk around your home and evaluate the lighting. Are there areas where you feel unsure about your footing because of dim lights? Adding more lighting or using night lights for hallways can help you move confidently at any time of day or night. Bathrooms and stairs are two of the most common places where falls occur, and I know I've had a few near misses myself. That's why I recommend installing grab bars and handrails. These are incredibly helpful in maintaining stability when moving around, especially in slippery areas like the bathroom or when climbing stairs. When I first moved into my current home, I noticed that getting in and out of the shower was becoming a bit tricky. The floor was slippery, and I was nervous about slipping, even with a bath mat in place. So, I decided to install grab bars in the shower and near the toilet. The peace of mind it gives me every time I step in or out of the shower is priceless. If you have stairs in your home, be sure that there are sturdy handrails on both sides. If your stairs don't have handrails, I recommend getting them installed. This simple change can prevent a lot of falls and accidents. You may also want to consider anti-slip treads on your stairs to ensure your footing is secure, especially when wet weather or snow is involved. As we age, our mobility can become more limited. But even small changes to your home can make a huge difference in maintaining your independence. For example, I started using a recliner chair that's easy to get in and out of, and I also installed a raised toilet seat to make bathroom visits more comfortable and safe. It's these small but thoughtful adjustments that help me feel more secure and capable of taking care of myself. You might also want to consider adding ramps in place of stairs or installing wider doorways if you use a walker or wheelchair. Many homes, especially older ones, aren't always designed with accessibility in mind, but there are simple modifications you can make to create a safer environment that still feels like home. While making sure your home is safe is crucial, emergency preparedness is also an essential aspect of home safety. As we age, it's more important than ever to have a plan in place for various emergencies. This could be as simple as knowing how to get in touch with someone when you need help, having an emergency contact list in a visible location, or investing in a medical alert system. I wear a personal alarm that connects to emergency services if I need help, and I make sure to update my emergency contact information regularly. Consider making a list of emergency contacts, medications, and important health information and keeping it in an easily accessible place, like the fridge or a drawer in the kitchen. Make sure anyone who visits you knows where it is. That way, in case of an emergency, they can access this information quickly. Finally, don't overlook the importance of a home safety inspection. If you're unsure where to start, you might consider hiring a professional who specializes in elderly home safety assessments. They can identify potential hazards that you might have missed and suggest helpful modifications. It's well worth the investment, and many organizations offer free or low-cost safety assessments for older adults. As we grow older, our bodies naturally change, and so do our living environments. But with a few smart adjustments to our homes, we can continue to live safely and independently for years to come. From removing tripping hazards to improving lighting, installing grab bars, and thinking ahead about emergency preparedness, home safety plays a vital role in our ability to age in place comfortably and securely. Remember, taking a little time to assess your home for potential risks can make all the difference. Small changes add up to create a safer, more accessible living space, allowing you to continue enjoying your home and your life. Point 5. Don't forget to plan for the future. As we age, it's easy to focus on the present, enjoying our daily routines and making the most of each day. However, one of the most important things we can do to ensure we live our best lives, not just now, but in the years to come, is to plan for the future. Planning ahead isn't just about preparing for challenges. It's about taking control and ensuring that our future is as comfortable, secure, and fulfilling as possible. When I turned 70, I realized that I had been so focused on the present and my current needs that I hadn't given enough thought to what the future might hold. Sure, I had the basics in place, a roof over my head, food on the table, and a modest savings plan. But as I began to think about the years ahead, I realized there was much more I could do to ensure that I would be prepared for any eventuality. So, I decided to sit down and take stock of what I needed to do to make sure I was set up for the future. This is a topic that often gets overlooked or put off because we don't want to think about things like end-of-life planning or long-term care. But trust me, taking the time now can make all the difference. I learned that planning for the future isn't just for the big things, like finances. It's also about the smaller, everyday decisions that can affect your well-being as you continue to age. Let's talk about why planning ahead is so important and how you can start today. One of the most critical aspects of planning for the future is financial planning. I realized that I couldn't assume my savings and pension would take care of me indefinitely, especially with the rising costs of healthcare and living expenses. When I took a close look at my finances, I realized I needed to be more proactive. Planning for the future involves understanding where your money comes from and where it goes. I met with a financial advisor who helped me assess my retirement savings, pension plans, and Social Security benefits to make sure they were all aligned. Together, we came up with a sustainable plan to help me stay financially secure for as long as possible. It's important to take into account any unexpected expenses that might arise. Healthcare costs, home repairs, or emergency expenses can come up unexpectedly. Having an emergency fund or insurance plan to cover these expenses can make a huge difference in your peace of mind. Additionally, consider long-term care insurance. This can help cover the costs of assistance in case you ever need help with activities of daily living, like bathing, dressing, or eating. Many people overlook this. But if you find yourself needing care and haven't planned ahead, it can be financially overwhelming for both you and your family. Planning your finances for the future doesn't have to mean making drastic changes overnight, but it's important to make sure you're taking the necessary steps to ensure your financial stability. A solid financial plan gives you more freedom and peace of mind, knowing that you can continue to enjoy your golden years without constantly worrying about money. Another area that deserves serious attention is healthcare planning. As we age, our healthcare needs change, and many people face chronic conditions that require ongoing treatment. Regular health checkups are essential, but it's also important to consider how you'll handle unexpected medical needs down the road. I began by reviewing my health insurance coverage. Does it cover all my medical needs, including prescriptions, visits to specialists, and long-term care? What would happen if I were unable to care for myself? These are important questions to consider. One thing I did was ensure that I have a living will or advance directive, which outlines my preferences for medical care in the event that I can't make decisions for myself. I also made sure to appoint someone as my healthcare proxy, a trusted person who would make medical decisions for me if I were ever incapacitated. This isn't the easiest thing to think about, but it's a decision that provides peace of mind, both for me and my family, knowing that my healthcare wishes will be respected. If you haven't already, take the time to review your health insurance coverage, and make sure that you're up to date with any necessary vaccinations or health screenings. The earlier you plan for these eventualities, the better prepared you'll be. In addition to financial and healthcare planning, legal planning is equally important. If you haven't already, I highly recommend putting together a will. A will ensures that your assets are distributed according to your wishes when you pass away, and it can help avoid conflicts among your family members. Without a will, the state may decide how your property is divided, which could be an unwanted surprise. If you don't have a will yet, it's never too late to start. A simple legal document can give you confidence that your wishes will be honored. Also, be sure to update your will as your circumstances change, especially after significant life events such as marriage, the birth of children or grandchildren, or the sale of property. You might also want to consider a power of attorney, a person you designate to make financial or legal decisions on your behalf if you become unable to do so. This person will handle things like paying bills, managing assets, and making important decisions if you're no longer able to manage them yourself. One thing I didn't realize I was neglecting when I was planning for the future was my social life. As we age, we can become more withdrawn, and it's easy to spend more time alone. But maintaining a social support network is vital for both mental and emotional health, especially as we get older. As I planned for my future, I realized I needed to stay connected with friends, family, and my community. Whether it's participating in local events, joining clubs, or just making sure I keep in touch with old friends, social interactions are crucial for longevity and mental well-being. Even if you're physically independent, having a reliable support system in place can make a huge difference. I also made sure that I kept up with volunteering and attending local community events. These activities not only kept me active but also helped me maintain a sense of purpose and connectedness. Staying involved in the community is a great way to ensure you have a built-in network of people to turn to if you need help, or just someone to talk to. Finally, remember that the future is uncertain. As much as we plan, life often has a way of throwing us curveballs. That's why it's important to remain flexible and adaptable as you age. I've learned that life can change unexpectedly, whether it's a health issue, a family emergency, or just the need for a new living arrangement. Be open to new possibilities and adjust your plans when necessary. For example, after some health challenges, I had to rethink my living situation. I was considering staying in my home, but I realized that it might make more sense to move to a senior living community where I could receive the care and support I might need in the future. Being open to this change wasn't easy, but it's helped me feel more at ease knowing that I have options and support if I need it. Planning for the future may not always be easy, but it's one of the most important things you can do to ensure a comfortable and fulfilling life as you age. From financial planning and healthcare decisions to legal preparations and maintaining your social connections, the steps you take today will help you live a more secure, healthier, and more enjoyable future. Remember, planning doesn't have to be overwhelming. Start with small steps, review your finances, create a will, and discuss your healthcare wishes with your family. Keep building and maintaining your social circle, and stay open to new opportunities. By taking proactive steps now, you can ensure that your golden years are just that, full of joy, stability, and peace of mind. Point 6. Don't neglect mental health. As we age, our mental health can sometimes be overlooked, especially when we're focused on physical well-being and managing our daily routines. However, mental health is just as important as physical health, and it deserves the same attention. Many older adults, myself included, often feel pressure to appear strong and independent, sometimes to the point where we neglect our emotional and psychological needs. I've learned from personal experience that maintaining a healthy mind is crucial to enjoying our golden years to the fullest. It's easy to assume that feeling down, anxious, or forgetful is just part of getting older, but that's not always the case. When I first began experiencing periods of low energy, anxiety, and forgetfulness, I brushed it off as normal aging. I thought, well, I'm getting older, this is just what happens. But as time went on, I realized that these feelings were more than just a normal part of aging. In fact, they were signs that I needed to address my mental health with the same care and attention I gave my physical health. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is how closely mental health and physical health are connected. Stress, depression, and anxiety can take a real toll on the body. In my case, I found that my physical energy levels were lower, I wasn't sleeping as well, and I had trouble concentrating, all of which impacted my overall well-being. I also noticed that I was more prone to illnesses and chronic conditions when I was feeling mentally and emotionally drained. Stress, for example, affects our bodies by raising cortisol levels, which can weaken the immune system over time. Prolonged stress can lead to high blood pressure, heart problems, and even digestive issues. By focusing on mental well-being, you're also taking steps to protect your physical health. If you feel anxious or depressed, it's not just a mental issue, it can lead to physical ailments too, making it even more important to address these feelings. It took me some time to recognize this connection, but once I did, I began incorporating mental health strategies into my daily routine, alongside my usual physical health habits. One of the best things I did for my mental health was finally speaking to a therapist. At first, I felt hesitant. I thought, I don't need therapy, I'm just getting older and feeling a little down. But talking to a mental health professional helped me understand that everyone can benefit from support, regardless of their age. Therapy allowed me to unpack some of the emotional challenges I was facing and provided me with tools to better manage stress, anxiety, and other emotional hurdles. Just having someone to listen and help me navigate my feelings made a world of difference. A professional can help you understand what you're going through and offer techniques to improve your mental resilience. I found that my sessions helped me gain more insight into my emotions and how to handle challenging situations. Whether it's dealing with grief, adjusting to life changes, or simply navigating the ups and downs of aging, having a safe space to process these emotions made a significant impact on my overall happiness and well-being. Another important factor in maintaining good mental health is social connection. As we get older, we might find that our social circles shrink. Children may live far away, friends pass on, and activities may slow down. But isolation can quickly lead to feelings of loneliness and depression, so it's essential to make a conscious effort to stay connected. I'll admit, after my retirement, I found myself spending more time alone than I'd realized. It was comfortable at first, but then I started feeling disconnected. So, I made a point to reach out to friends and family more often. Even a simple phone call or text can make a huge difference. I also started volunteering and joining local community groups where I could meet new people and stay engaged in the world around me. You don't have to have a huge social circle, but maintaining a few close relationships, whether with family, friends, or community members, can drastically improve your mood and reduce feelings of isolation. Socializing can provide a sense of belonging, lift your spirits, and even help improve cognitive function. It's not just about filling time, it's about nourishing your mind and emotional well-being. Mental health isn't just about managing emotions, it's also about keeping the brain sharp. As we age, our brains naturally experience some changes, but staying mentally active can help preserve cognitive function and even delay the onset of dementia and other cognitive decline. For me, I started doing puzzles, playing brain games, and reading more. I also took up new hobbies, learning to play the guitar and doing some light painting. These activities were fun, but they also kept my mind engaged and stimulated, which is critical for mental fitness. I've found that staying mentally active helps me stay focused and sharp, and it also provides a sense of accomplishment. You don't have to take on complex tasks. Simple activities like crossword puzzles, reading books, or even joining a discussion group can help keep your mind sharp and improve mental health. You'd be surprised how much difference a small challenge can make in preventing feelings of stagnation or confusion. Physical exercise and mental health are closely linked. Regular exercise not only keeps our bodies in shape, but it's also a natural mood booster. Exercise helps release endorphins, the brain's feel-good chemicals, which improve mood and reduce stress. I make it a point to get some light exercise every day, whether it's a walk around the block, a stretching routine, or swimming. These activities help me feel more energetic, clear-headed, and relaxed. Even 20 to 30 minutes of daily activity can have a huge impact on your mental well-being. One of the most beneficial activities for me has been Tai Chi, a form of gentle, flowing exercise that focuses on deep breathing and mindfulness. It's easy on the joints, and it allows me to focus on mental relaxation while improving my balance and flexibility. Tai Chi has been an excellent way to calm my mind and reduce any anxiety I might be feeling. Finally, one of the most fulfilling things you can do for your mental health is to find meaning and purpose in your life. As we age, it's natural to question our purpose, especially if we've retired or lost loved ones. But having a reason to get out of bed each day is crucial for maintaining good mental health. I found that volunteering in my community gave me a renewed sense of purpose. Helping others, whether it's at a food bank, animal shelter, or community center, made me feel needed and valuable. I also took up teaching a few basic woodworking classes at the local community center, something I'd always enjoyed doing. These small acts have brought new joy and meaning to my life, helping me stay positive and motivated. Whether it's through volunteering, mentorship, or simply being there for loved ones, finding ways to contribute and stay engaged can prevent feelings of emptiness and boredom. Taking care of our mental health is just as important as taking care of our physical health. We may feel like it's a task that gets overlooked as we age, but regular check-ins on our mental well-being are essential to living a happy, fulfilled life. Whether it's through therapy, social connections, mental exercises, or physical activity, taking proactive steps can help keep us mentally sharp, emotionally healthy, and connected to the world around us. By recognizing the importance of mental health and addressing it head-on, we ensure that our golden years are not only full of vitality but also of joy and emotional balance. So, make time for yourself, talk to a professional, stay connected, stay active, and find purpose. Your mental health is the key to unlocking a happy, fulfilling life, no matter what age you are. If you're with me on this one, comment 3 down below and let me know you're still enjoying the video. Point 7. Don't let the small stuff pile up. As we age, we often find ourselves in a routine where certain tasks that seemed small and manageable before start to feel overwhelming. Whether it's keeping up with household chores, paying bills, or dealing with personal paperwork, the small stuff can quickly accumulate and create unnecessary stress. I know from personal experience that letting these little things pile up can make life more difficult than it needs to be. And over time, these small tasks can begin to feel like an insurmountable mountain, making us feel more burdened than we have to. When I first retired, I thought I'd finally have all the time in the world to relax, enjoy my hobbies, and spend more time with my loved ones. And for a while I did. But then those small things, the bills that needed to be paid, the stacks of paperwork I hadn't sorted, the laundry I kept putting off, began to add up. I found myself getting overwhelmed by the very tasks I thought I could easily manage. One day, I realized that I had avoided them for so long that they had become a source of stress. I'm here to tell you, after learning this lesson the hard way, that tackling the small stuff in a timely manner can save you a lot of frustration and anxiety down the road. Let's dive into why it's important to address the little tasks right away, and how doing so can keep your life running smoothly. We've all done it. We push things aside, telling ourselves, "I'll deal with this tomorrow." Whether it's responding to a letter, making a phone call, or just clearing clutter, it's easy to ignore the small stuff when you don't feel like dealing with it. But I've learned that procrastination only leads to increased stress. The longer we leave things unattended, the more they pile up, creating a larger problem than it originally was. For example, I once let a small stack of bills sit on my kitchen counter for weeks. I thought I had plenty of time to pay them, but when I finally sat down to sort through them, I realized I had missed a few due dates. The stress of rushing to pay everything at the last minute was much worse than if I had just dealt with them earlier. It's not just bills either. Things like home repairs, managing prescriptions, and even returning phone calls can all become overwhelming when neglected. The longer you wait, the bigger the weight becomes. By addressing these things as soon as they come up, you'll keep your life much more manageable and calm. Tackling small tasks promptly can prevent unnecessary stress and free up your time for the things that truly matter. It's not just physical clutter or unfinished tasks that cause stress. Mental clutter can weigh just as heavily on us. Every time you think, "I really need to take care of that," it takes up space in your mind. These small, unfinished tasks can slowly erode your sense of peace and satisfaction. I found that after letting a few tasks pile up, I felt constantly distracted. My mind was always thinking about the things I hadn't done yet, and it left me feeling less focused and more anxious. The feeling of incompletion hangs over you and doesn't let you fully relax. It's a mental burden that interferes with your ability to enjoy the present moment. For example, I kept putting off organizing my closet, and every time I looked at the clutter, I felt a little sense of guilt. Once I made the effort to tidy it up, that mental weight was lifted, and I found it much easier to focus on other things I enjoyed. Taking care of these little tasks as they come up keeps your mind clear. Instead of constantly thinking about things you need to do, you can focus on enjoying the moment. It's a simple step, but it can make a huge difference in reducing mental fatigue and improving your emotional well-being. One of the easiest ways to prevent the small stuff from piling up is to create a routine. I've discovered that when I incorporate basic chores into my daily or weekly schedule, I feel less overwhelmed. For example, instead of letting dishes and laundry accumulate, I now do a small load of laundry every other day and wash dishes after each meal. These tasks take no more than a few minutes a day but make a world of difference in keeping the house tidy. Creating routines for things like paying bills, managing appointments, or doing household chores also helps build good habits. By setting aside a set time each week to take care of these tasks, I've found that I don't have to worry about them piling up. Plus, when I see how much I can accomplish in such a short time, I feel a sense of accomplishment and control over my day. It's important to remember that these routines don't have to be overwhelming. You don't have to spend hours cleaning or organizing. Just a few minutes each day or week can keep your life in order and prevent things from getting out of hand. It's also okay to ask for help when the tasks feel too much. We all reach a point where we can't do everything on our own, and there's no shame in asking for assistance. Whether it's a family member, a neighbor, or a professional, having someone help with the small things can relieve a lot of pressure. For instance, after my hip surgery a couple of years ago, I realized that certain household tasks, like heavy cleaning or even organizing, were more than I could handle. I asked my daughter to help me sort through some paperwork, and I hired a cleaner to help with the deep cleaning. It was a small investment, but it made life so much easier and more comfortable for me. Don't be afraid to delegate or hire help when necessary. A lot of the small tasks we put off can be taken care of with a little support from others, which allows you to focus on things that truly matter, like your health and your happiness. Another useful approach to managing the small stuff is learning how to prioritize. Not everything needs to be handled at once. For example, if you've been putting off going to the grocery store, it's probably something that can be done tomorrow. But if you've been delaying an important bill payment, that's a task that should be dealt with sooner. When you prioritize tasks, you can prevent small problems from turning into big ones. I've found that making a list of what needs to be done each week helps me focus on the most urgent tasks while still leaving time for the things I enjoy. At the end of the day, it's all about balance. Taking care of the essentials first, and leaving the less urgent tasks for later, means you won't feel burdened by everything at once. Living alone as we age can be incredibly fulfilling, but it also comes with its own set of challenges. We've discussed several important things to avoid in order to ensure that our lives remain safe, comfortable, and enjoyable. By staying socially connected, avoiding overexertion, keeping up with regular health checkups, ensuring home safety, and prioritizing mental well-being, we can all live our golden years with greater peace of mind. It's important to remember that small changes in our habits and mindset can make a big difference in how we experience our daily lives. Taking the time to organize your environment, asking for help when needed, and nurturing relationships with family and friends can help prevent isolation and maintain a fulfilling lifestyle. Don't forget that even though we may be living alone, we are never truly alone in the world. There's always support around us, whether it's through community, healthcare providers, or even online connections. So, take the steps today to make sure you are looking out for your safety, health, and happiness. Live fully, embrace new experiences, and don't hesitate to ask for help when you need it. Your future self will thank you for it, and you'll find that living independently can be not only achievable but incredibly enriching. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please leave a comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to bringing you more content that inspires growth, joy, and purpose. We're all in this together, and I'll see you in the next video.